Welcome to the Universal Writer's Guide. My name is Robert Stasio, and I'm here to provide concrete advice on academic writing, a general term used to describe the writing required in most classrooms. The methods herein have carefully evolved with every English composition course I've taught in college and high school. This guide can be useful for both students or as a lesson plan for an instructor. These concepts also apply to career, creative, and personal improvement purposes. It is often the tricks of the trade that make the process of learning an enjoyable experience, and I will show you these secrets plainly and deliberately as possible. No matter the instructor, course, or assignment, this guide will provide a solid game plan that obtains the best results and makes the most efficient use of the reader's time and energy. And of course, it's always important to work smarter, not harder. Hello, my name is Robert Stasio, and this is the Universal Writer's Guide. Let's consider the following. You can practice shooting a basketball 8 hours a day, but if your technique is wrong, then all you become is very good at shooting the wrong way. Get the basics down, and the level of everything you do will rise. Michael Jordan. Now, I really like this quote because it doesn't apply just to basketball. It applies to writing, it applies to baking, cooking, learning a musical instrument, just about anything, is have those basics together first so that we get in good habits and good routines, and then from there you can elaborate and get into more and more techniques of your own self-style that you want to put together. But as long as those basics are there, like the quote says, everything you do will rise. Now, it's a good quote to start out this book because this book is all about the basics. And in my experience as an instructor, I've found that there's many folks who can write well and write in volume and do not ultimately put together a good paper. And then I've also ran into folks that don't write a whole lot in volume, but at the same time, their basics are there and they would understand the basics of putting together the essay. And that's always going to be the essay that gets at least as good a grade. And I find less effort and less energy. And again, that's what this book and these videos will offer you, is efficiency, and that good grades will follow, and hopefully a whole lot less effort. All right, let's do a rundown of what you can expect in the book and the videos. Chapter 1, Theory of What Not to Do. And so a lot of folks ask me that why am I starting out with what not to do? Shouldn't we ask about what to do? Well, I feel like by the time you got into this video, that you've had many years of writing classes, and that it takes, because you probably had so many methods thrown at you, and ultimately writing is a subjective and not objective craft, is meaning that One instructor could have given you a lot of encouragement and compliments and said you're a really good writer, but you could go to the next instructor and they'll be like, you got a lot of work to do, man. So in chapter 1, our theory of what not to do, I outlined the things that you should absolutely not do. And also a few things about what to do as well, in just general terms. And it's great to break those down before you get into the book, and kind of gets to my rationale on how I put things together. So in chapter 2, we discussed the 5-paragraph essay and what to do. Just a little spoiler alert, like we're going to do some outlines, and it's efficiency is a big thing, like I said, in this book, and I'll show you a bunch of techniques to do that. Chapter 3, the ever so important thesis statements, we're going to cover in depth, and then take a look at long essays, how a 5-paragraph essay can easily develop into a 5-page paper, 10-page paper, or even longer. In chapter 4, we will discuss research writing and using a lot of the same format, just how to infuse quotations properly and get the most out of research, which can be a scary technique for some folks. But once you break it down, it's very easy, and almost easier. It can be definitely easier than writing in your own words. So page 51, I provide a bunch of samples so that you can look at your work and the work, the example essays and that kind of thing. Chapter 5, we'll be looking at creative writing, and a lot of the techniques from the previous chapters will come into play there. And then I have some copies, I have outliners and things like that to get your writing into, make it easier, and you'll definitely want copies so you can photocopy them or take a picture, print them out. All right, and then last thing I want to talk about is that use pencil throughout this guide. Okay, in the lower, just below me here, we have the Universal Writer's Guide available on Amazon. Search the Universal Writer's Guide. And while not absolutely necessary, it will help. I mean, it's got all the outliner stuff, and it's easier to flip through. And I find, like, if you have any activity that you're trying to learn, it's very helpful to have a couple different mediums, meaning video plus workbook plus whatever else you got going on, that having, your mind be able to look through and work with a couple different things going on will be helpful. So in the guide, why do I say use pencil? So I've always been fascinated in math. Why do we use pencil in math? Well, obviously we make a lot of mistakes, and you don't want to, you're in the middle of a problem and then it goes awry. There could be a little thing and then it changes the whole big thing. So we have a pencil in there, and I would say writing's the same way. It definitely is. That we make mistakes, and that if we, when we were able to erase a little something, a lot of times it's like little stuff that can be fixed without having to rewrite the whole thing. And another big concept with me and in this guide is at the very bottom there, saving time and energy. That reading and writing is an exhaustive task. It doesn't seem like it. You're, just sitting in a chair and, moving the pencil around and reading. But if anybody's put some time and effort into it, sometimes I read like 4 or 5 pages and I'm ready for a nap. Or I'll, write out a couple paragraphs and I'm just tired. We want to be able to keep our energy. We want to be able to use it as efficiently as possible, and that makes a big difference in the writing process is that it's like any sport that you're training for. You do your best when you're at your highest energy, and our performance decreases as that energy goes up. So this is what we got to look forward to, and I hope to see you